In this class, we're gonna use the SQLite package, a simple database package to work with SQL data. You're gonna use the powerful Node.js streams operators, a recent set of functions to help us handle data as simply as we do using arrays. Using functions such as filter, map, reduce, and others, but keeping the on-demand paradigm. As I told you, this is a game changing for processing big loads of data in JavaScript. With this knowledge, you are ready to process whatever kind of data you want and still keep it simple to read and maintain it. Let's check this out in practice. Well, I'm gonna start talking about this operator. So I'm here on the Node.js docs. So you can find a lot of stuff here. But what I wanna show you is all this new set of functions. So it's Node.js 19. Let me zoom in. So here we have map, we have filter, for each, to array, sum, find, every, and a lot of others. All right, so you can start experimenting them. So just so you know, you can click here. We can see that is experimental already, but we can start using right away. And see, we just need a readable string, all right, and we can just put map here. And the cool thing here that I saw is that we can use operators using async await. Ooh, very nice, isn't it? So it's even better to handle data, to actually get more sources and gather them all on our stream pipelines. Okay, let's check this out. I'm gonna close this one. Let's create a second. It's gonna be two streams operators, SQLite. Okay, I put a big name here to make it easier to understand. We can close this one. We go to the second. All right, so first of all, I'm gonna initialize a Node.js project here. And then I'm gonna install a package to generate data, which is faker.js at faker. And in the version set.6. Oops. Faker.js. Oh, it's to add here. Perfect. We're gonna use also the SQLite, and it's gonna be SQLite 3 actually in the version 5.1. SQL, just one L. Alright, so SQLite is gonna help us to create a database without any connections. We're gonna use a database file for it. Alright, so first of all, I'm gonna create the src here and seed.js, okay, because it's gonna seed our database. So seed, it's gonna run on node src seed.js, and here type module. Perfect. So to start working with it, we should actually I'm gonna create a folder here called data. Okay, so any database we have, I'm gonna save on this folder. Perfect. So first of all, SQLite 3 from SQLite 3, and then I'm gonna import faker from faker. Nice. To initialize a connection with the database, we're gonna use SQLite 3 verbose to see logs, and then we can start creating our connection.database. Okay, so for the database, I'm gonna use that folder data, and I'm gonna create a file called db. Okay, I know that I'm on the source file, but when I run this command from the package.json, it's gonna go to the data. Okay, well, I noticed that this function doesn't have much like promised functions, so we can actually parse it to promise functions. So from node util promisify. Nice. So I'm gonna use first the serialize async. It's gonna be db serialize bind db, and then the same thing for run and here it's gonna be run. All right, I'm gonna put a console.time here so we can measure time. So insert time and time end. Okay, everything I'm gonna do is gonna be between those timers. All right, so first of all, we should actually use the serialize. Oops, I misspelled. See, async, serialize. Nice. And then we're gonna use SQL database commands. So I'm gonna use run async. It's gonna be create table users, and I'm gonna create a field ID with text, name type text, age type number, company type text. Okay, nice. With this command, we're gonna create a database. Actually, we're gonna create our table. Okay, so I'm gonna save here. If I try running npm run seed, SQL error, syntax error. Oh, it's missing an A here. So let's run it. And actually it ran. If we go here, we can see a binary file, but we can't see data in anything here, okay? Just make sure this command just finish running. All right, after it, we should generate an user, right? So function generate user. And then I'm gonna create user with the same fields, okay? ID, so I'm gonna use faker dot data type UID, it's a function, and then name, it's gonna be faker internet username. Then we're gonna have company or age first, right? It doesn't matter. We can fix the order later. Company name, age, faker, data type, number from 19 to 110. All right, because the user is so old, really old. All right, I'm gonna just move the order here to make it easier to see. And perfect. Well, when we're gonna insert data, we should insert in the same order as here, right? So I'm gonna return it as an array and use user ID, username, user age, and user company. All right, so we can use to insert data on our DB users. Nice. Well, first of all, I'm gonna run a for from 0 to 100 just to make sure it's working fine. Then we can increase this value. I'm gonna use the user here and generate user. All right, for each iteration, we're gonna have a different user generator from this function. Nice. So now I'm gonna use the run async again, and I'm gonna run insert into users ID, name, age, company, values. And in the values, I'm gonna try doing this dynamically, right? So I have to have some commands here for each field I have. So to make it easier, I can use the user.map, user.map, which is gonna bring us how many fields we have. I won't use it, but I will just return this one and join them in commas. And then after it, I can put a comma here, and then I'm gonna use the user we have. And then, so here, just to recall why I'm doing this, because otherwise I have to put like manually something like this, like we have 1, 2, 3, 4, so I should put something 4 times like this. But in this case, if we put more fields here, I won't have to change the query here, okay? I will just have to change here, and the query will go following the same order. Nice. All right, so I'm gonna put all these promises on our array. So promises dot push, and then after scheduling them, I'm gonna wait for results. So await promise.all promises, and then we can put some log here also. Console.log, finish it, inserting data, promises.length, so we know how many items we went there. All right, let's save them all. Well, notice that we have actually our table here. We can actually remove before starting it, right? So from data, I'm gonna remove them all. So if I run seed first, it's gonna remove the item, and then it's gonna insert the whole data. So it seems it inserted. We can see the data is already there. However, we should list them all, right? Just to make sure everything's working fine. So I'm gonna use db.all, and I'm gonna put a query here. Select count row ID, which is the name for the ID on the SQLite, as counter from users. And I'm gonna receive error and row. I could actually promisify it, but I'm gonna use this way. If we have any error, we print it out, console error, and return. Otherwise, we just console it, right? Row. And then don't forget to put the time end inside it. So I'm gonna run, and then we can see the counter we have there. It's for 100 items, okay? So I want to make this more interesting. I want to insert 100,000 items, okay? Because it's a heavy processing, right? So I'm gonna just make this run, wait a bit. All right, on my PC, it took 40 seconds to insert 100,000 items, and we can see the DB there. And the plan now is actually consume this data on demand, right? Because 100,000 is a lot. All right, so I think we've finished for our seed. Our seed is ready to go. And now we should actually start our data processing, right? So I can close this one, and I will create a new function here. And I'm calling maybe index.js. Okay, our plan is to transform a SQL data, all right, which is on the SQLite, to NoSQL JSON data. So we could actually send this data to a MongoDB file or a MongoDB database, or actually save it on as a ND.json file and then work on it later. So let's try doing it, okay? Nice. Well, I'm gonna try using a bunch of things that we have actually here. All right, so I'm gonna copy all those imports and paste here, and then I will choose what I'm gonna use later. But I know Faker I won't use, serialize I'm gonna use, and then for the all I'm gonna use as well. Okay, nice. So remember that we are using the same database, okay? Don't forget it. So to start working with it, we should start with the serialize async, and then we can start creating our generator function. Nice. So first of all, we're gonna create the same idea. Remember, select as string, and then now I should just use yield to actually produce data from this as a readable string. All right. However, look how nice is it. We actually can import for our node string the readable, And actually, we can create a string from a iterator or a iterable or async iterable, which is our generator function returns data, right? So it's gonna be select as readable string. Perfect. So if I run this code, I'm not sure what's gonna happen. Let's check it out. I'm in the right function. Here I'm gonna put start node src index.js npm start. Okay, I'm gonna use the dev here, so we can use watch npm run dev. Nice. So now we can start working on our function. So the goal of using streams and readable streams and so on is to work with data on demand. So we're gonna page data, all right? So here I'm gonna say default limit is gonna be 100 items per page, all right? And I'm gonna use skip as 0. Okay, actually this could be a const, and then we're gonna increase the skip for skipping data after. Okay, so I'm gonna use while true, yes, while true, but we're gonna put some condition to exit from the while true later. Okay, don't worry. So first of all, I will need to use our find. Find. I don't think it's find all. I think it's better to understand. Find all async. Okay, and then we need some query there. So I'm gonna use select asterisk it from users, and then our secret limit. So we're gonna use the phone limit, and offset we're gonna use the skip. Okay, and then I'm gonna just put this data here on a variable, and after it, look, we could actually see that the skip, it's gonna receive itself plus more one page. So the first time it's gonna be 0 and bring me the first 100, and then I'm gonna skip the first 100 and then bring the last 100. Okay, so we're gonna page them all in pages with 100 items, so we can process them on demand. Nice. Well, first of all, if the data doesn't have anything there, if it's 0 here, we should know that we should stop. Okay, so if we consumed all data, it's gonna stop. Okay, nice. Otherwise, we can actually iterate with it, because the find all is gonna bring us an array. But the goal of working with streams, in my opinion, is that we can actually work with gradually items. We can have them individually. So this is pretty nice. So now I'm gonna use a for const item of data, and for each item I'm gonna produce our data for whenever one wants to access it. Okay, but see, anything changed right now? We can see that it's everything working. Just make sure it's all working. However, what we could do here, it's actually use the string operators I just told you. So imagine we can use for each. So I can use console.log with our for each and see all the 100,000 items being processed there, just being logged there. Okay, so we have all of them working here. That's pretty nice, right? And see, I'm not using pipeline to consume the database. I'm not using anything. I'm just using for each. But the for each is just printing out the values, okay? But it's very similar to our array.forEach. Okay, I want to make something more interesting here. Imagine that I want our string. Actually, just to show that you can consume this way, you can consume with this way, const item of string, and we're gonna have a similar result. Okay, so you can see exactly the same thing here. Okay, I just removed it. And actually, if you want to use the pipeline from Node, we can actually use here the pipeline from string promises. I'm gonna use pipeline here in our string. It's gonna work as always. Okay, argument, so it's missing more pipelines here. If I put, okay, let's keep them all here like this for now, because I'm gonna put more and more steps later. Okay, actually we could do something. No, let's keep the for it, and then we can work with it later. Okay, so imagine that now I want to do something differently. I'm consuming a data from some data source, but I want to filter data. Well, we were filtering data on the last chapters using transform strings, right? Here it's gonna be easier. So I can have the filter, and actually I can get it as a object, and I'm gonna bring only the age. So I will process only the age that it's greater than 25 and age is less than 50. Okay, now if I put more the filter here in the same line, we can see the different result, right? So we won't see, like, because it's so fast, but if you check the data, it's working fine. Okay, nice. Well, the goal is to filter this data, put it on a data source like an output, and then process them all. But imagine after filtering it, you want to map results. And as I told you, the map or the filter could be actually an promise and a sync function. So I'm gonna put the async here just so you know you can use it. Okay, I won't process anything from this point. Well, I'm gonna change the name. Okay, so I'm gonna use all8 so you know that you can use it. I'm gonna use resolve. I'm gonna grab just the name, and I'm gonna put it as upper case with C. All right, and then I'm gonna return the item I already had, name, and actually I'm gonna put a new field here. So to ISO string, and see the result now. It's actually pretty nice, isn't it? We have at here, we have the company, and see the name is actually uppercase, and everything, the age is actually between our range. Let's try, like, see only if it's, so you can see. Yeah, I'm gonna put 27. Oh, nice. We can see the filter is working out, right? It's only 26 on this case, but I'm gonna keep the 50 here so we have more data to process. All right, Eric, I need to put more and more steps. When we use like the array.map and array.filter, the problem of doing this is because we have to gather all the data in memory, go through each step, and then the next step is gonna go to through the whole list. In this case, I'm processing the filter, and am I sending the individual item to the next step. The next step is processing it on demand. So you can put whenever you want here, how as long as steps you want, okay? Because it's not gonna decrease your performance, because you could have done this on a single file, okay? Because you're processing it on demand. Okay, I'm gonna put more one map, and now I'm gonna I want to do something more. I want to know how many data was processed. So processed 0, how many items processed, plus, and then I'm gonna return it. But now I'm gonna prepare it to save on a file. Okay, so to save on a file, I'm gonna stringify it, and I'm gonna put a break line at the end. Nice. If I save this value, you can see a lot of logs here, but I'm just gonna comment because now I want to use the pipeline. Okay, using the pipeline, we have already our string, And then we just need our output. So for the output, I'm gonna import what we've been using a lot here. So from node fs create write string. Nice, isn't it? So it's gonna be on data, and I'm gonna call it output and the JSON, because this format is a JSON with a break line. So I'm gonna save it. So the chunk must be type of string or instance of buffer. So here I don't have anything. It's because I'm returning data, but I'm not using this. This actually should be at the same line. So I just save it and complete running. If we open our NDJSON, we have 25 items, k items. So I'm gonna put here on the end our console.time. So it's gonna be SQL to NDJSON and time end, and I'm gonna put this right on the beginning, so we can measure how many items was processed and how long it took. So console.log break line process has finished with processed items, and then we can see the whole time. Okay, so now I'm gonna remove the filter, okay, and I'm gonna keep the 100,000 items. So I'm just saved, and see how fast was it, my friend. We have 100,000 items in a JSON file, and we just took 2 seconds. If I open here, we can see the 100,000 items is there, using the rules we applied, right? Using actually everything that we want. Oh, in this case, oh no, yeah, because I commented our filter, right? If I uncommented it, we can see it's even smaller. It's almost half of it, or 1/4 of it, and it's respecting all the rules. So from now on, you can use this a lot. You can experiment with all those operators using strings, but make sure that you are using map and filter from strings, not from array, because from array could like generate some bottlenecks for you. All right? Well, my friend, I'm not sure if you notice how powerful it is. Within those string operators, you can also run async functions and resolve promises. This means that you can request other sources while you're processing individual items. It's very powerful for people who want to integrate data with systems, also known as an enrichment step for big data systems. Leave your comment now here below, and I want to know what you thought about this class. Don't forget actually to evaluate this class by clicking on the star below, and if you have any questions, use our comment section or our Discord channel to discuss it with other students. I'm sure they would learn a lot from your questions and would love to chat with you. Well, I hope this class has exceeded your expectations. I'm Eric Wendell, and I'll see you in the next class.